Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I did a video. I'm back. Took some time off to get a book finished. Take a day off is the book. More on that in a future video. I'm back at Danebury Fort. It's insanely hot today, so you're stuck with a very casual Rob, because frankly it is far too hot to be even here. There's very few people here, 1 or 2 dog walkers. It's about 28 degrees. You may remember a video I did here a while back. I've shot a few videos here because it's such a beautiful place. There were some wild bulls behind me as I stood the other side of the tree. They're actually up there. Could get interesting, could get spicy, who knows? It's just a beautiful place. And actually in today's video, I'm going to talk about where ideas come from. I was at Eurostar conference, a conference that I go to every year, and this year it was in Antwerp, Belgium. It was a brilliant conference. I helped organize it. If I say so myself, it was very good. And one of the talks by a friend of mine, Isabel, was about the myth of the solo genius. This sort of person who is somehow connected to the spirits, connected to another world, is guided by a deity, and they are just this genius. They have great ideas, they just do things on their own, and it's this sort of myth of that. It was a great talk. And what I wanted to talk about today is, where do ideas come from? Because this myth of the genius is that they're connected to the spirits. I remember Stephen Pressfield, and he was talking about these ideas sort of floating around in the ether, just waiting for somebody to pluck them out and do something with them. You know, Rick Rubin, legendary music producer, said something along the same lines as, we've all got this connection. We've just got to look for these things and sort of draw them down and do something with them. And when we talk about work, there's ideas everywhere for how to improve the business, new products, new ways of working. There's all sorts of stuff. We don't have to be this genius connected to the ether in order to come up with good ideas. I'm going to share with you 5 or 6 tips and ideas on how to spot ideas, how to do something with them. So with that, let's crack on. So I do believe that these ideas are sort of flying around in the ether, but I guess the idea is that people are just more open to them, more receptive. They've widened their awareness to sort of take in more inputs. And that's one of the tips, is to widen your awareness. In any industry, you get people who deep dive into the industry. They read books about the industry, they go to conferences, they follow authors and podcasts and videos about that particular industry. But actually sometimes just reading extremely widely and reading something that interests you from some other industry or some other side, I guess, community, can open you up to a broad set of ideas. You can take ideas from these different areas that you're reading and studying and being open to, and mash them together to create something that's never been created before. An idea in this industry might work in the one that you're in. This is how you come up with ideas, mashing together seemingly disparate ideas together to create something novel and unique and new. That's creativity, creating something that didn't exist before. And to come up with those ideas, sometimes we just need to be receptive and open by casting our net wide and widening our awareness. Another idea is to just slow down and get out into nature. There's the Japanese concept of forest bathing, about walking through a forest to heal. And when we get out into nature, we often feel a lot better. We're connected with nature. There's lights, there's sound, there's air, there's sort of freshness, there's things you can touch, there's things you can study. And actually just slowing down and getting out into nature allows your brain to process things. You can see things and just become more observant by slowing down. Those birds sound really angry, by the way. I do apologize. Hopefully they're not hungry. Craig Mod, an author and a writer that lives in Japan, does lots and lots of walks, and he often calls them sort of this creative fodder, because when you go on a walk and you turn off your phone and you disconnect and you just enjoy nature and enjoy using your body to move through the world, ideas come to you. You get clarity because you've blocked out the distractions, you've removed some of the noise, and it allows your brain to function. Another idea is, I have this sort of kind of idea that there's a group of very clever folk living in my brain. You know, they're in this little room somewhere, sat on a couch. Maybe they're smoking something, maybe they're having a drink, maybe they're just connected to the deity or the ether. If I feed them something, they get to work, and then I leave them alone. And when they're ready and when they've come up with something, then they'll knock on the door, open the door, and give me that idea, that sort of eureka moment. With this sort of, I guess, stupid idea, because clearly there aren't people living in my brain, but if I pose them a problem, or I pose them a challenge and a task and then leave them to it, I'll get a breakthrough. You've surely had this, where you're pondering something, you're working on a problem at work, you're looking for a way to make your life or the business that you work for better. You go off, you cook tea, you have a shower, you go surfing, you go to the beach, you do something typically connected with nature or food or something super distracting. And your subconscious mind gets to work to try and solve the problem. And then you get the eureka moment, that moment where you get clarity, you get an idea, you get a breakthrough, you get a way to move forward. Well, for me, that's the idea of these clever folk in the brain. I give them a problem. How can I make sales better in the business? How can I improve the way that we deliver to our customer? How can I improve my life? And then you leave them alone and give them some time and they'll get back to you. Carry a notebook. I mean, I've had this so many times. I get that moment, I get that clarity, I get idea for a book or a line for a song or something. And if I don't write it down, I often forget it. So carry a notebook, just jot down ideas, things that you see, things that you notice. Make use of those clever folk in the back of the brain. So when they knock on the door and give you the idea, just be sure that you're ready to receive it, to write it down, to store it, to record it, and then to do something with it. Slowing down and observing everything around us, really truly trying to disconnect, get rid of those distractions. And the more that we can build this skill and the more that we can develop this behavior in work by carving out time and space and getting rid of tasks and getting rid of meetings and getting rid of some of this constant barrage of inputs that we get at work, and just slowing down, studying, taking the time to observe, to truly observe, not just to see, but to observe it, to study it, to find details in it, then we can find ways to overcome problems, to make the business better, to make ourselves better, or just to see things as they really are in the world around us. And nature offers us that wonderful opportunity to do this, to truly look at the trees and the leaves and the grass and to truly study the animals and see things and listen. This is a wonderful way to develop that skill, to develop that behavior of studying, noticing, because when we do this, we'll see things that other people don't see. We'll be able to piece together connections that other people may have missed. This is where creativity comes from. This is why many things get invented or created at the same time, because there are people open and receptive to it. The technology's moved on, they've opened their awareness, they've gathered data, they've identified a need or a problem, and then these ideas in the ether, they're just more receptive to them. They're more open to them. They're more observant, and they see these things. And they're able to do something with it, to take those inputs, to observe and study and let those clever folk in the back of your brain get to work, to notice things that other people don't notice, and then do something with it. Because ideas alone, they're not really worth much. But then when you implement those ideas, that's when you truly learn and you get better. You can create. I'm not joking, it is so hot. 28 degrees. I've had to shoot this in the shade, so I do apologize if the light's off. Bit of a ramble one. It's going to take me a while to get back into these videos, I think. Took a reasonably long break. Got some serious hate on one of the videos, which was, discouraging to say the least. But I think I've got over that. And thanks to all that left the positive comments. Thanks to all that have subscribed, because I really enjoy making these videos. I absolutely love them. And I've got tons to share. And I've just got to get back into the rhythm of doing these. Join me over on cultivatormanagement.com. There's a weekly newsletter. The communication workshop's available for you to purchase and sit online at your own time scale, whatever you want. There's some books on there, there's all sorts of stuff. Please do join me over there, it would be great.